All right, folks, Jim Equals, for many years, an incredible sports writer and reporter, of course, for the Beaver Allegheny County Times. Why is he at the Keystone Mountain Lakes Regional Council of Carpenters? Well, we were supposed to go to the Brighton Hot Dog Shop in that great community of Vanport. He happens to live in Brighton Township, but I got called out to work by the Keystone Mountain Lakes Regional Council of Carpenters because of their big event tomorrow. And I said, can you meet me on your way home? We got a couple of gyros from Mike and Ponies in Bridgeville. And after he chowed down a little bit, he came in here nice enough to talk sports. Jowett and Asa, your two children, your lovely bride, you, and of course, work for Langen Engineering. Guy does it all, even flies the amazing drones. But he has got a wonderful life to talk about from his days at Cal U. He went on to study management at Geneva College. Big shout out to our good friend Gino DeMarco and the Golden Tornadoes in the midst of their football season. But also, he is a guy that knows sports, and his first love, and I have to believe, even though he doesn't do it on a regular basis now, it still is sports.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Son had an amazing career as a runner at the University of Pittsburgh. He's now working in Wisconsin at that university. But I want to talk a little Pitt football as we begin. They're taking on Georgia Tech this week. It's the homecoming, 12:30 kickoff, 93-7 The Fan. Pitt is 0-1 in the ACC. They've had a couple of tough losses, one to that ACC opponent, North Carolina, coming off of last week's win against Marshall, in which they squandered a 4-touchdown lead. Overall, your thoughts of the University of Pittsburgh Panthers under the direction of Pat Narduzzi? Jim Equals.
There are definite improvements since Coach Narduzzi took over, but obviously I think, as you've seen this year, they have to finish. They should have beaten North Carolina. They should have beaten Oklahoma State, and they almost let Marshall come back on. The team definitely has to finish. How they do that, I don't know what you can do to change that defensively, but that's been their biggest problem. I think offensively they've been playing fine. They're putting points on the board. The defense they play a half pretty well, but they need to play all 4 quarters. Or
you know what I noticed doing a little research, and we've been talking about Pitt all week, is that there are some freshmen that are making some noise there. And you think about the future, and I look at it as only upward when you think of Shantez Moss, Trey Tipton, and Maurice French. Those guys, 2 touchdowns last time out, and really came up with 156 very important yards, especially when they needed it as that game got down to the wire. There are some freshman talent on this team, and I think that's something that you can hang on to if you're a Pitt fan.
Absolutely, and I think that's been the big thing with Coach Narduzzi coming on board, is we're seeing some of these better recruits coming in than some of the guys had in the past. Now, Coach Chris, certainly, he brought in some good guys as well, but Coach Narduzzi is really bringing in those blue chip recruits, and I think we're seeing that's going to pay some dividends at Pitt.
Chris blew it last year, 56-yard field goal. They were winners against Georgia Tech, 31-28. Georgia Tech lost to Miami, 35-31. Some players to look for: Justin Thomas, along with Dedrick Mills, and Paul Johnson is your coach. This is very important for them to do a back-to-back W. They need to get this one, especially it's homecoming. The place will be packed, a lot of blue and gold. I think this is going to be a big test and hopefully a big win for Pitt.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, obviously there's a lot of excitement. They're doing the throwback uniforms to the Dorset Merino days, and yeah, Georgia Tech, they're no slouch for a homecoming opponent. They've got that triple option. They really need to slow them down.
Pitt's about a 6.5-point favorite right now as we go to tape. I also like Quadri Henderson as a kickoff threat. This kid, you have that feel that he can break one at any time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he can take it, and everyone's hoping with Jordan Whitehead back to the return punts, and obviously we know that what he can do from returning the ball. So there's really some home run threats that Pitt has.
All right, let's move on to the Steelers and Jets. You know, this week for some reason I've been thinking a lot about Joe Namath, and you spent some time in Beaver County. You still live there. Anytime you were at Reeve Stadium, Jim, covering Geneva or a Beaver Falls game, didn't somebody always mention Joe Namath?
Oh yeah, and you see his number right on the field. They have the football right on the 19-yard line because he wore number 19 in high school. So yeah, you can't deny. And he's never certainly denied where he's from. Everybody knows Beaver Falls because of Joe Namath.
Absolutely. Okay, let's talk Steelers and Jets. Steelers coming off that win against Kansas City. Jets lost to Seattle. Last time these two teams met in 2014, it was a 20-13 Jets win. Ryan Fitzpatrick's 33 years of age. The big story for him this year, he's thrown 10 interceptions. He threw 6 in week 3. Even though the Steelers don't have a great secondary, I think Cameron Mitchell, with the 4 sacks that he had last week, going to put a lot of pressure on him. And if you can get him off his game, I think they can make the Steelers secondary look pretty good as far as rushing the quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. Fitzgerald definitely surprised me this year. Last season he had a really good season, and I really thought, having that season under his belt coming in this year, he'd do well. But obviously, through the first 3 games, that hasn't been the case. The Steelers' defensive, their secondary isn't great, but I think they're good enough. I think they can hold down the Jets and certainly stop that passing attack or lack of.
Jim Equals, you miss your days being a sports reporter?
Well, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I still do a lot of the high school stuff, but yeah, I miss a lot of doing the. I used to do the Steelers quite a bit, and then actually I did them probably about close to 10 years, and then my youngest son Ace was an exceptional athlete, and so he started having more things going on the weekends. So I stepped away, and this first year I stepped away, Steelers went to the Super Bowl. So but it was worth it seeing what he did. But still, I mean, it was just that first year they went to the Super Bowl, so I had to miss that trip. So.
Chris Mullen was writing in the Beaver County Times, happens to be an exceptional young talent at 93.7 The Fan, about this high octane offense. Lethal weapon 26, as in Le'Veon Bell, 144 yards in his first game back. Sammy Coates is really continuing to show me that he's got game. He has 78 yards as far as receptions in that win against Kansas City, and Antonio Brown is Antonio Brown. I just don't see the Jets stopping the Steelers. Do you think their offense is as good as we think? 3 out of the 4 games that we've seen them play this year?
Yeah, I think so. I think the Philadelphia game, I mean, every team has a game like that. I don't want to call it a fluke. Philadelphia is very good, but I don't think that was the true essence of what the Steelers are. And so really the only thing that may stop them Sunday, Antonio Brown getting 15-yard penalties for his end zone celebrations, but other than that, I don't see them getting much negative yards.
All right, now, Toronto and Texas American League Divisional Series already underway, but Cleveland is hosting Boston later tonight on the TBS television network. David Ortiz, this is it, the swan song for an amazing guy coming off of 127 RBI in 1 year. But the story, I think, again, and John Pratte, who I'm sure you agree is the best baseball writer in America.
Absolutely.
FanRag Sports, he's on the playoffs. He was the first yesterday to talk to Terry Francona. They had it up on timesonline.com at 5 o'clock Eastern. He is an exceptional talent. I'm always honored to have a chance to talk baseball with him. But you got game too. So let me tell you, Cleveland, one of the big stories this year in Major League Baseball, you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously we shouldn't be surprised with Terry Francona being there. Obviously being a local guy, and what he did with Boston, turned them around, and then went to Cleveland and just had similar success. So yeah, it's a little surprise, but not a huge surprise with Francona being there.
In closing, Jim Equals, as you look around Major League Baseball right now, does it kind of always circle back to the Cubs, you think?
Yeah, well, you'd think so. This year, definitely it does. Historically, you never know if they're gonna. They've been snake bit historically, but this year I think it might be their year.
Listen, it's an honor. Tell folks what you do other than me talking about flying drones. What do you do?
I work for a company called Langen Engineering, and I make topographic maps, but I also we do civil engineering, and we fly the drones and we collect information flying the drones. It's really the future of engineering, the future of mapping, and so it's a great firm to work for, and so I'm enjoying it very much. And of course, I still write for the Times. I still on the weekends, Fridays and Saturdays, I'll cover high school events or Geneva or Robert Morris on Saturdays.
Well, then I have to ask you about high school football. You got Aliquippa and Clareton coming up. Games sold out. Going to be on television, so the American Italian Club's telling people to come on over and we'll watch the game. But I do believe the biggest story in the valley that we're from, and of course there are some great teams where we're at here in North Fayette Township, one being West Allegheny with Bobby Palco. But I can't help but think about the great job that Ronnie Shiro has done at Riverside. You agree with that, you think?
Yeah, they were, they've always been a competitive team, but it really seems like now they're taking that next step. And, obviously Coach Shiro had great success back in the early 90s, and it's amazing you can step away, even though he was still an assistant coach, but to step away from being the head coach and coming back on. So there's been he's been one of the bigger stories in Beaver County. I mean, obviously you have Darius Wise, what he's doing at Beaver. He's just an amazing athlete. Maybe the second best athlete I've ever covered. Darrell Rivas, obviously, you would agree with me, would be the first, but Darius is an exciting player. I mean,
where does he play at the next level?
Yeah, well, he's got some Division I offers. I was talking to Coach Belts, and BYU has offered Miami of Ohio.
As a quarterback?
No, as a slot receiver.
That's what I thought.
And Pitt and Penn State, West Virginia have not offered yet, which is surprising because there's some players that on their rosters, I think Darius is just as good as, so I'm very surprised that he hasn't gotten that higher level of interest. But I know he's a Mormon by faith, so BYU, I think, may have an advantage there.
And being that you work in Pittsburgh, I'm sure, and you just came through Bridgeville, which is just a stone's throw from Upper St. Clair, you know the big epic battle, North Allegheny, Art Walker Jr. taking on Jim Render, winning as coach in the Whip Upper St. Clair. That's big as well. I just still think high school football is the best ticket in town. And you and I, many years ago in another life, when I was actually doing play-by-play, we would spend a lot of times, because they had only day games then, they didn't have the lights that they have now, Southside.
Yes.
I've always loved the Southside Rams, but I also love the other Rams, as in Rochester. Talking to my son on the way home from Quigley Catholic the last couple of days, and my daughter driving by their high school, Gene Matza, one of the greatest ever, and how he's got Rochester undefeated again and making a very strong move towards the playoffs. That's another big scoop.
Oh yeah, he's just done an amazing job. He's a quality person, obviously, as you know. You know, it's funny, last year I was covering a game, and it was Neshannock, and they lost the game, and he was really dejected after the game, and we were kind of talking about the future, and he goes, oh, I don't know how much longer I can do this. And now you talk to him now, and he's regenerated what he's done there, and just an amazing job. I mean, he's really turned things back around Rochester. You don't want to say turn things around, because they never really went away for a long time, but now it's just an amazing job what he's done there.
All right, listen, you brought him up, and I have to ask you, because I've always been a fan of schools in that part of the world, and we're talking about Neshannock. Where did they come from? They put a shellacking on my alma mater. They got a big game with Riverside this week. Tell me about Neshannock.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you know, I can remember a time, you probably can too, when the Beaver County schools would play some of those schools up there, and that would be a win.
Yeah,
Yes.
a given.
And now the Lawrence County schools, Shenango is very good, but Neshannock is probably the best school up there. And it's amazing. They have the quarterback that's going to Robert Morris, the tight end going to Pitt. It's just, it's really turned into a quality program up there in Neshannock.
Listen, I know it's a long day. We're going to do it again, and next time it's a Brighton Hot Dog Shop on me, chili dogs.
Sounds great.
There you go, folks. Jim Equals, and I'll tell you, pretty good writer, too. Ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a good day. Thanks for joining us tonight at the Keystone Mountain Lakes Regional Council of Carpenters. Good night.